up, ladies and gents? Ladies and germs.
Ew. Hey, what's up, Abu?
I'm good.
Yo, how do you
thanks for
pronounce?
having me. Abu's fine.
I know, but like your full name, what is it? Abu. I saw it on your Katalog thing. Abu-Bakr.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
It means handsome father of the virgins.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Handsome father.
Yeah.
Welcome, handsome father of virgins.
Thanks for having
That's how
me.
I should have introduced you.
Yeah, man.
I should keep my virgins away from you guys.
Oh, shit.
What's up? What's up? Abu is a good friend, and he's from South Africa.
What up?
What up?
Yeah. Indian, South African. And,
the first Indian South African person.
Yeah, that I met.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I heard you worked at a space station.
Yeah. I still work for them too now.
Wow. Holy shit. So can you tell us more about that? Like how did you get into like
Space science?
Yeah.
So I was basically selected from like the best 8 of 80 students in the country to go on a space weather camp.
Mm-hmm.
Space weather is like weather that happens in space.
Wait, what?
Connected
Space
to
weather
Earth.
camp?
Yeah. So the space,
Weather that happens in space.
Yeah.
Like
We're
there's
so ignorant.
there's actually like weather in space.
I didn't know about
Because
this
like
at
when
all.
I think
It's very
about
interesting.
space,
Yeah.
it's just a fucking black void.
Yeah.
Like nothing
There's
happens.
no air. There's air in the space?
well, we're in space and there's air, isn't there?
Wow.
If you think of it that way.
Yeah, that's true. So. Wow. I mean,
Oh shit.
You don't think of it that way, looking outwards in. You think of it
Right.
looking inwards out.
look at
Oh,
you, Neil deGrasse.
shit.
Over here.
Got Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
I don't think Neil deGrasse Tyson's his
No,
real
he's-
name because that sounds like a rapper name.
I think so. Yeah, but like, so, what kind of work do you do at the space station?
So basically, there's something called geomagnetic storms.
Shit.
So just imagine like you're using electricity and it just gets cut off. But that's one phenomenon that happens with geomagnetic storms.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to find out I try to track geomagnetic storms. That's my research. So this costed like billions of dollars of damage in South Africa a few years ago. It mainly affects like places at high latitudes.
Like
In-
in space?
No,
Oh,
high
on
latitudes
Earth.
on the planet.
Oh,
like
okay.
countries like Norway, Canada, all those countries around that
Right,
circle.
right.
Yeah, and it affects oil pipelines, fiber optic cables, power lines as well.
Dude.
Anything that's like a long metallic conductor. So we have to track those in as near real time as possible.
So there are actually like space storms that affect the planets.
Yeah, like I mean, one of the things that most people don't. Well, they made a movie called Geostorm. It had pretty bad
you
ratings.
told me about that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, but the thing about the movie is that it's a very real thing that could happen where the geostorm takes out major electricity grids on the planet. And then, so my research is to track that. And then we contact the power station company in South Africa. It's called Eskom.
Eskom?
Eskom, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty crappy organization. But yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they just steal all our tax money. It's just so irritating. I hate that we have to pay tax all the time. It's very frustrating. Yeah.
No one likes tax.
Oh,
So-
releasing his rage.
Yeah. So yeah, basically we contact them and then we tell them like you've got to do this because it's coming. The storm's coming. So like get your umbrella, basically.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool, yeah. So like that happens a lot? Like
It happens a lot in those high altitude regions, but for us
Wow,
too, it's
dude.
a very real thing because it costed billions of dollars in damage in South Africa. So
like the power grids and everything.
yeah,
right?
it took out the power transformers, it overheated them
Oh,
because there's a power surge that happens. Yeah.
So what happens if you like, you have a storm? What do you do then? Like how do you like?
So
what,
we
what are
have
your
to,
some
so,
measures
so
you-
it happens over the order of hours and days. So it doesn't just happen like poof and the thing goes out, like a geomagnetic pulse that happens, like when a nuclear weapon's detonated or something. So this thing happens over like hours. So then you just contact the power station and say you've got to take certain measures, like lower the power, switch this one off so that it can't conduct a current through it.
But don't you gotta be like observing that 24/7? Because it's
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of like
That's why we have space agencies. Space agencies just observe these things 24/7.
oh, so
yeah.
you're actually working for them right now, but
Yeah,
you're
so-
not like
Yeah.
in
So
front of your computer.
I'm
all day
we're working on creating a model that can track these things in as near real time towards like maybe every 15 minutes we get updated as to when these things are going on.
Oh.
So this hasn't been like done before in a
Mhm,
way.
mhm.
So it's kind of original stuff that we're trying to do.
It's very similar to meteorologists or what they do, right?
Yeah, well, that's weather. as
Right,
well, yeah.
right. So like
But we're tracking
tracking
currents.
like space
Yeah.
currents and
So what happens is that what happens with the space currents is that the sun undergoes certain activity. So this is the weather
Mhm.
in space, basically. So you guys know that there's like an atmosphere around Earth, right?
Mhm.
But do you know that Earth's like a magnet as well?
Mhm.
yeah.
So in the
right.
center of Earth, there's like this
the poles
core,
and, yeah,
this
and the
core,
core, the
and then
iron
like
core.
there's a
Mhm.
magnetic. I mean, like this material rubs against each other, this molten core,
right,
and that
right.
creates electric currents. And then
Uh-huh.
we have like a shape like this around Earth, like a bell, the North Pole and the South Pole.
Mhm,
Then there's
mhm.
magnetic North and magnetic
Right.
South.
Mhm.
But that's not the North Pole and South Pole. The magnetic North and South moves. So like
Oh.
every 700,000 years, those things cancel each other out. And that's one of the theories for getting ice ages.
Whoa,
So-
okay.
So
Interesting.
basically, the Earth's field interacts with the magnetic field of the sun, and when the sun like has an event called CME,
Mhm.
CME is
What's
coronal mass ejection.
Mm.
So there's this thing called sunspots.
yeah,
you might have heard of
those.
sunspots.
Yeah.
So that's when there's this intense activity going
Mhm.
on the sun.
Mhm.
The-
Then what's a solar flare? Is that similar to a solar flare?
Yeah, well, they're two different things, but the solar flare is when the sun spits out this hot matter, and because the sun has hydrogen and helium in it, those are
Mhm.
charged particles, and
Mhm.
charged particles create magnetic fields,
Mm.
and they travel along the field lines of the sun. They interact with Earth, and then they cause power surges. So that's what causes the power surge. So we're basically trying to stop what the sun's going to do to kill us, because nature always wants to kill you. So we're trying to
Damn,
stop that. Yeah.
that's some important stuff. Jeez.
You guys look like whoosh.
Yeah, like this is a totally
this
new
is
territory.
this is a lot to handle right now because we went out last
yeah,
night.
especially after last. Oh god, man.
Man,
Last night
it
was
was
pretty
our
rough.
it was our good boy Steve's birthday.
Yeah,
so
sir.
kind of went
Sir.
a little too hard, but
Yeah, I lost my phone again and shit.
yeah, Joe lost his phone. So if you find it, please
Contact me on Facebook.
Damn.
Yeah, send me a dick pic. It's okay.
Ew.
Along with my phone.
Do you want to ask people out there?
Yeah,
Do you want to send a message like, if you have my phone,
yeah.
and you
Exactly.
please contact like. and
Please,
put
like,
up a
Little
bring back the Nigerian girls sign.
dude, like that'll be really sad.
Wait, but you're
yeah.
still working for the space station?
Yeah,
Like-
so
so
my
you're
research
using
is
your-
work for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is
Mm.
pretty frustrating because now I have to pay taxes and my research will belong to the government.
Oh,
Oh.
damn.
So irritating.
So what kind of? So you're basically like a researcher here, then, right? Or you're
Yeah.
doing that as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So like, how do you, as a researcher, where do you find your like resources? Is there like a database or something? where you can,
Yeah,
like,
that
library?
I'm not allowed to share with anyone.
Oh,
yeah. Like,
shit.
classified because if you have
Oh,
certain
damn.
data, then you'll know like where's the best place to drop like an atomic weapon or where to take out certain things in a country, for example.
Oh. Dude, have you ever heard of the book called Behold the Pale Horse or something?
No.
Oh, dude, there's this book about.
Behold the pale.
You just remind me of like.
What
different
the
controversies
Yeah.
that like this book has this guy was an ex-CIA agent. Basically, he wrote a thick ass book about all the different governmental controversies that he knows, and he had all these classified information that he wasn't allowed to share.
Yeah.
But his life was threatened many times.
That's
So-
the problem with the CIA. Like, who
Right.
monitors the CIA?
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So apparently there's like you work for the space station, so there's like this elevator
Yeah.
from Earth to the moon
Okay.
already like made. and nobody knows about the shit. And he had like he had a picture. He actually posted a picture in the book of the actual letters like about this elevator from the Earth to the moon being signed by these like really top, like even like the president himself, which was Obama back then.
Wow.
So
I've got to get this book.
Yeah, you do.
I'll go check on
I'll tell you more. I don't think it's something called the Pale Horse.
I'll check on all the illegal sites that I used to get books from.
So you know a lot of like information that you're not allowed to share, right? Pretty much that.
Yeah.
It's like very classified.
Stage 5 classified.
Damn, man. Is it some like are they very like governmental? A lot of the things are like government.
Yes.
They're from the government.
Yes.
So.
What would happen if you were to leak information?
Yeah,
are they gonna like show up on your
right?
door and be like, "All right, sit down," and they'll just like lay a black
what happened to
plastic like bag like right underneath you,
like,
pop you in the face.
Like Dexter.
when I go back, they'll probably just like put me in jail. South African jails, even though each person in jail, you've got to spend around $3,000 on a prisoner. It's not a nice place to be because jails are run by gangs there and like.
They're run by gangs.
Are we allowed to be graphic on the show?
Oh yeah.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's these gangs basically. There was a thing in South Africa called apartheid, where like white people systematically did things to other races in the country to suppress them deliberately. So they established like relationships with these gangs called the number gangs.
Number gangs?
Yeah, so there's a gang called the 26s, another one called the 27s, and another one called the 28s. So there's a language called Afrikaans. You're familiar with it. So like 28 is 28 in that language, and they speak like a meld of certain languages that only they understand. And now what happened is that they kind of control prison life now in South Africa for the most part.
Like we're talking about...
Yeah, and this gang, like if a new prisoner comes in, their mission is to rape you.
What the
hell? Physically, actually rape you?
Yeah, there's a documentary by a guy named Ross Kemp who came to South Africa to look at these jails.
Oh, I think I know Ross Kemp.
Like,
he has a TV
does a
show,
lot
right?
of these things. Yeah,
a lot of crazy
like Russian prisons as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then like the Vatos Locos people as well, like the 18th Street gangs in Guatemala and stuff. Yeah. So so the head of the gang basically said that. So they asked him, the new guy who comes in, who is he? And then he says he's the woman, and I have to rape him when he comes here, and if he doesn't, I'll kill him. The head of the gang. So he was saying that he's got to rape the new guy who's the woman, basically. And he wants the new guy to look at him while he's raping him. Yeah, some really
what is
gruesome
this?
stuff. Yeah.
Wait. So like
So don't ask me to leak secrets.
I get it, buddy. I get it. Yeah,
I mean, the space agency is not far from the prison where their main prison.
So you like see the prison from your window.
Yeah, if you leak it,
I don't understand that. There. Like, so does that mean like they're homosexual, like, or they just want to show you like, hey, you're my bitch.
You're my bitch.
But you're gonna go that far. You can't just beat him up.
No, they beat you up and they fuck you.
You have to, right?
Yeah, you have to rape them.
How do you? How does a guy?
In fact, it's like in some American gangs, you have to kill someone to become part of the gang.
Right.
In these gangs, your initiation is to rape someone, or if they ask you to kill someone, you've also got to kill them. So it's your way of showing devotion to the gang, basically. And then they come to you when you first come in, and they make certain like hand signs, like. I don't know, there's one like this and like that. And if you don't respond in a way, then they know that you're not part of the gang and you can be like messed with.
Holy shit. So...
And they have certain identifying tattoos and stuff as well.
So to my understanding, American jails are run by the government, by the state, right?
Even South Africa.
There's private ones.
No, I mean, there's what's run by the state, and then inside, it's a completely different story when you get there.
Right. So when you said these prisons are run by gangs, are they like paid by? Are they paid by the government or something, or are they just actually just running these institutions?
Well, they control a lot of the drug trade on the streets as well. These gangs.
Is the drug war as crazy as it is in America?
No,
in South Africa?
I don't think so. But we do have drug issues. Yeah.
Like I'm talking about. No. I'm talking about like, when it comes to law enforcement on narcotics.
They do a lot of
insane.
busts. They do a lot of busts. Yeah, like millions of dollars in this and that, and you always read it in the news and check it out. Like they find something on a ship or whatever. Yeah. And then they have the problem of mixing the AIDS medication. They take the prescription AIDS medication called ARVs and they mix it with weed and like rat poison. And they make this concoction called Wunga that's like super addictive. And people like, they keep finding this thing and they'll rob people for money and stuff. Like, man, I'll suck your dick for this stuff.
What the fuck? Why is there a lot of like all these...
And they like don't eat food. They become so
stuff.
addicted to this stuff that they like. You'll just see the shrinked zombie walking everywhere, and he'll even kill you for your stuff just so that he can go get another fix. Yeah, it's highly addictive.
Oh, shit.
Highly addictive. Yeah, there's rat poison in the thing.
What the hell?
Don't you die from that?
I think if you have enough of it, you could. Like any
What
drug.
are this? Like I've never heard of this wamba. What is it called?
Wunga. Yeah. Wunga.
Never heard of it.
Wunga.
Yeah.
Isn't there some sort aren't some of the chemicals found in rat poison in like cigarettes as well, or maybe not?
I suppose. I know that in cutting cocaine, there's 4 ingredients that are common in all energy drinks. Like Gatorade will have it.
Like phenylalanine or
Red
whatever?
Bull would have it. One's called inositol. It's in all of them. So the stuff that helps keep you awake, they use it to cut it, and then it like quadruples the value because you get more product, but it also makes you high. Whereas if you just, like, there's a certain tribe in some country that mixes the raw product as leaves into their tea, and it's healthy that way. But if you take the stuff and cut it, it's really unhealthy. Like cocaine, for example. It becomes crack cocaine then.
Right.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like Dave Chappelle's I Smoke Crack.
right. Is HIV and AIDS, it was first found in Africa.
I think,
right? AIDS
I think it was
itself.
tracked back to Africa.
Tracked back to Africa,
yeah,
right?
I suppose, yeah.
Is the AIDS, is it a lot more prevalent among your peers in South Africa? Like in America, it was a huge thing.
Yeah.
Like HIV and AIDS. Oh, we had like TV shows.
Yeah.
Not TV shows, but they're like TV programs about that too.
America has a strong propaganda network.
Very powerful,
called the media.
Yeah, propaganda about that, right? But like
they got Trump elected, so they're really powerful.
Right, exactly. Everything is done through media. But like, is it as like, let's say you have 10 people like in your around your 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
How many people would actually have AIDS?
Well, the thing is, most people live in rural areas, and in those areas, a lot of rape goes on. So it's hard to say among like
rape is such a big deal
developed people, like in the cities and stuff. But in the cities, rape and stuff does happen.
Does happen?
Of course, it does. I mean, I think we have like a very high rape statistics in the world when it comes to that type of stuff. So yeah, I mean, someone gets raped in South Africa. Was it every 43 seconds or something like that?
Bro. Like we're talking about men and women and children. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they take no prisoners. Those guys, they go for everyone.
What do you mean? Like
they go for babies. They'll rape babies. They'll rape
babies.
Women.
Who are we talking about here? Like what, gangs or like just people?
Criminals.
They're just fucking rapists.
Yeah, they rape
everybody.
They rape. Yeah.
They don't have like a computer and an internet connection.
No, we're a third world country. No, we don't have free Wi-Fi everywhere. I think one city recently got free Wi-Fi, but only in like the business district or something. So yeah.
But I guess like it's an epidemic there too, because like maybe there isn't like they're not educated too. Like some schools there's not
education
enough awareness programs.
I mean, our president couldn't pronounce I think it was 753,000. He couldn't pronounce 753,000.
Oh, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a huge literacy problem. Yeah.
What problem?
Literacy.
Literacy problem. Yeah. So
again, they take our tax money and they buy chicken with it. It's just really frustrating.
So talk a little. Okay, so
but it's not all doom and gloom. Some like the space agency is really well run.
Right.
A friend of mine, she is like the head of a financial, organization run by the government that runs it. It runs really well. the progress is really slow, but there is progress.
Right.
I think we're the best country in Africa. I can confidently say that.
Wait.
South Africa.
South Africa
is the best country in Africa. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely the most developed. Is it?
Yeah, probably the most
right?
developed country in Africa. Yeah.
Africa is
It's massive.
So big. So
South Africa is pretty big too.
It's
Yeah.
huge. Yeah, South Africa is huge, right?
Yeah.
So I guess in China, the divide. I think China's like one of the the highest top countries for the biggest gap between the rich and the poor.
China's our ally though in South Africa. We have a thing called BRICS: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. It's like an economic partnership that we have
between among the five.
Yeah. China, that's a pretty hectic country.
Yeah, China's. I've been to China. Like I was in Beijing, and like if you go to some of the more affluent areas, these houses are like crazy nice.
My sister she worked in Shanghai, and the pollution's a huge problem.
Pollution's a huge problem, but what I'm saying is like if you go in like the more wealthy areas,
is it like Gangnam or better?
Oh, way better, man, way better.
I haven't seen areas in South Korea, to be honest, where you just see houses.
Not like that.
Mostly apartments.
There are places like that, but that's you have to be very wealthy, like celebrities, and people like that who have a lot of money.
Is this in Gangnam?
There is a place in Gangnam too, but there's like mostly those kind of places, like really really rich people. They don't live in like Gangnam. Actually, they actually get houses that are like further away
in the countryside, or
maybe the countryside, or like Gyeonggi province, like the more
like
suburban.
the Hamptons.
Yeah, pretty much. yeah. So I would imagine that South Africa is like that too. Like
we've got
you got like a nice ass community of like
you should check out the houses in South Africa.
I feel like they'll be pretty insanely awesome, right?
And it's really well secured actually.
Right.
Security is something we take really seriously in South Africa.
Yeah.
We don't have like Second Amendment rights, but we do have like really high fences, electric fences, and stuff. So
Damn.
No, I'm not lying. It's the truth.
Right. Yeah.
Electric fences are part of life.
I'm gonna make a really hard turn here. Sure. Do you believe in aliens?
Do I believe in aliens?
Yes.
What does that mean? Do I believe in the existence of aliens?
Mm-hmm.
I can give you something really interesting on that.
Maybe you know something that we all don't know.
Credit for this goes to a compatriot from Michigan State University.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give him this, and so basically he made the argument that so when you look up into the sky, can we all agree that when you're looking at stars, you're looking into the past, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So far, light takes time to reach us.
And when those people are looking at us, they're looking into the past as well, right?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Same goes for them. Yeah.
Okay. So unless they have really advanced technology, right?
Yeah.
They probably do exist, but the odds of us meeting is really difficult because they've got to have light speed technology and stuff to meet us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes so long for light to travel that far. So imagine sending matter that far. So I do acknowledge that they could exist, but whether we'd have an interaction or not, I don't think so.
So you've never seen any kind of space probe.
Here's an interesting question, right? I mean, here's an interesting thought. How can you as a human being define life beyond what you know about human beings?
See, that's the appropriate question.
So think about that. Your idea of life is everything that we've got on this planet. So even our science is modeled on that philosophy. So we look for things that we have here that can indicate life. For example, water. And we found so many planets with that stuff. But we don't know under what conditions life can exist in other places, for example. Maybe it's absolutely elements that don't exist here. So we don't know.
Yeah.
You can only understand life in terms of where you are at that time and then search for that. And then too, even when you're trying to imagine something beyond your imagination, I think there was a saying by this guy who said that truth is more interesting than fiction because fiction is limited by boundaries, whereas truth is not. That's why the truth is more interesting. There's no boundaries to the truth. But fiction is limited by your imagination. So that
Wow.
philosophy we apply to science. So it's
mind blown.
it's really difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you don't believe that we actually ever had an interaction with like UFO sightings and
We could have. I mean, look at CIA.
Scientologists?
He can't say it, bro.
Look at CIA.
He can't say
Oh,
it.
is that what it
I'm
is?
trying to like get
I
it
mean,
out of him. But
my dad
he's got-
worked for these Afrikaner people whose father said that he witnessed a UFO on his farm. So how true that is, I don't know, but you just can't say, to be honest, because
What about your friend from NASA? Did he say spill the beans or something?
no, but I mean, they're
Gotta get him
sending
drunk.
probes. They're sending probes to the sun, and so I mean, let's see. I suppose let's see.
So your friend that you mentioned in NASA, he's on the team in charge of traveling to the
So
sun,
I have
right?
so many friends from there. One guy, Professor Moldwin. So every year he brings people to our space agency in South Africa from Michigan
dude.
State University. His name is Professor Mark Moldwin. So there was a movie called Journey to the Center of the Earth. He was a scientific consultant on that.
Ooh.
Then he has a friend called Professor Kip Thorne, who won a Nobel Prize recently, who was a consultant on the movie Interstellar.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
Do you like that movie?
Of course, it's
Oh,
amazing.
It's amazing. I love
That
it.
black hole. he actually learned more about black holes by simulating that black hole.
Oh.
So they discovered gravitational waves recently. That's why they won a Nobel Prize. And so he was a consultant on that movie Interstellar. So Professor Mark Moldwin, he was famous for being on the team that sent probes to Jupiter. So they discovered things about Jupiter's atmosphere and stuff. So then there was another guy, Professor Gary Zank. He was born in South Africa, but
love
now
these names.
yeah, he was born in South Africa, but he's now working on the project to send the probe to the sun at the University
Damn,
of
man, that's badass, dude.
Alabama, Huntsville. That's
Yeah.
where the Apollo was sent. The Apollo that took the 3 men to the moon. That's
Right,
where it
oh,
was
okay.
taken. Yeah.
But how can you actually land a probe on the
I don't think they're landing. They're just getting
No,
as
no, no,
close
no.
to
What
the
they're
sun.
doing is they're going to try and create a 3D image by taking 3 pictures, and this thing will go around the sun like maybe.
Oh,
Is it- I
like,
don't know,
like
was it-
they're like satellites around the
Yeah, it's going to
Earth.
orbit the sun, but from really
Oh.
far. So like if the sun's here, it'll go all the way around.
So what is the what is the reason? Like what are they trying to accomplish?
the thing I was telling you about, we don't
Oh,
really
okay.
understand the sunspots.
Right. Okay.
We don't know what it looks like, and so we need to get a better idea by sending this probe. Yeah. So
What-
India wants to send one too.
India.
Yeah. So let's see.
Do you think that eventually there will be like space colonization? Not colonization, but yeah, colonization.
In the future, probably.
Like
yeah.
you think that that's where?
But there's places on the planet that we don't even occupy. Like, I think we were talking earlier on about these islands which have never had
Yeah.
contact.
Yeah, dude,
like
that's insane.
The
man.
tribes who've never had contact
Yeah.
with the modern world. There's one called the Sentinelese Islands. It's just off the coast of India, but these people look like black people from Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Go figure.
there's so many tribes.
Like
I mean, the
Bozen.
Amazon vast regions have not been touched by humans. So there's a lot of places on the planet for us to live in.
Mhm.
Why should we leave is my point.
Mm,
Yeah.
aren't they like those? Aren't they like uninhabitable?
No, I mean, if
areas?
people are living there, it's habitable, right?
Like
Like in the Amazon where those tribes are. They just
Right.
don't go there because the government doesn't have enough enforcement to like take over their place.
I feel like if
Right.
we go there, we're gonna get like fucked up because
I
like
think if you go there and
get
like
shot by arrows.
no, I mean just like from like maybe like diseases and stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
we're more like prone to
Yeah.
getting them
No,
as
but what
opposed to
if-
these tribes that were always
what
like
if we
exposed
go
to
there?
them.
All we have to do is send like sneeze in a balloon and send it there.
And they'll all just
They'll probably
die.
just all die, yeah, and then we just head in and it's like that movie, like the movie Avatar.
Yeah,
You just
right,
head in and stuff. But on the space colonization thing, it is possible because there was a friend of mine. So he's about 18 years old at the time. No, 19. Thomas Meyer from Germany. he was working on a project with SpaceX, Elon Musk's company.
Yeah.
And they were trying to grow plants on the International Space Station.
Oh God.
Now, you know, plants, they give off oxygen. So the space colonization, we're getting there. So we need to get the mechanism for it.
So what I want to ask is like South Africa, the space station's there, right? In South Africa.
Space agency.
Space agency. Are they working towards this, like towards this goal of actually
of going
living
there?
in space?
No,
we're
we're not that big. Our budget, we have a lot of money because of all the tax the government steals. But the chief scientist at SANSA, we talk a lot. And then he said that there was a scheduled thing for us to send someone to space, but we will work on the teams that go there. Like two people at my university have been shortlisted to go on the unmanned mission to Mars. So one is a quantum biologist and the other one's a doctor. But in the next 20 years, I mean, I think at the last check, it has been postponed by 10 more years. So yeah.
Didn't they also? Sorry, this is off topic. Didn't they create a rocket ship that actually can land now?
That's been around for ages.
For ages?
Yeah, I mean, how did they land on the moon and then come back? It's been around for ages.
Oh, but
you're talking about the Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
The self-landing thing.
The self-landing thing.
Yeah. But that's been done many times now.
Oh, really?
But he's trying to perfect the technology. Yeah. So there was something interesting I read a few years ago.
Crazy,
so this guy was looking at the spider in the Amazon, which has a disproportionate amount of weight to the way it lands. So it basically, the spider can fly from any position, but when it lands, it still survives. So they were trying to build a probe like that.
Damn, based on an insect?
Yeah, I mean, we look at a lot of things in nature to build a lot of things. Yeah. So if that thing lands, it'll land and
like
it wouldn't
camouflage
break.
or
No, not camouflage.
No,
it wouldn't
I'm
break.
saying like camouflage.
Yeah, like camouflage, for example. So that probe wouldn't break, because that's the problem. The impact just breaks things. You're basically throwing something onto a planet and you're saying land and move. It's not easy. These things take years. Like, I think one of the an interesting thing is that it's something called a sounding rocket. So a sounding rocket is something that they send into the atmosphere, and this rocket, you basically get 200 people that work on this rocket for like maybe 6 months. But here's the thing: this rocket, it basically does this. Will the camera see this?
Yeah, I will. Yep.
The rocket has to do this, and then come down like this. That lasts 4 to 6 minutes. So they work for 6 months, 200 people, just so that can happen. Imagine working for 6 months and you created a sensor and your sensor doesn't work. And your sensor needs to work here. So here's the trajectory, right? Your sensor needs to work here. At this point, from there to there. For 3 minutes, it has to work. Imagine working for 6 months to achieve something for 3 minutes.
So how long is...
So imagine how long. That's why we're taking 20 to 30 years to send people to Mars.
Right.
That's why it takes so long. You've got to run so many calculations.
So in your opinion, that's the best planet to like
Mars?
Yeah, to colonize. Yeah.
No, I mean there's far better planets from the standards we use to like understand life. Like there was one called it's one of those discovered by that Hubble telescope. It's bigger than Earth, but it looks like Earth. No, it's out of our it's in our solar system, but it's really far. Yeah, it's really far. There was a friend of mine, Anna. She's working on that. She looks for exoplanets. The planet?
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't. I mean, we give weird names to things.
Yeah.
But like within our like vicinity, like is Mars the best choice?
I don't know, but the interesting thing about that is that there's like they suspect there's water underneath.
Right.
Inside but we don't know. There's just very few probes there, so it's hard to say. Maybe the moon's the best place because it's close.
Because it's close.
Yeah, because it's close. But I mean, there's probably nothing to sustain life there, so you have to keep sending things.
Well, I'd figured if we bounce to another planet, it's because Earth is gonna get fucked up. So if Earth gets fucked up, then the moon's gonna get fucked up, right? Like the moon's just gonna fly somewhere else.
Well, they do have an effect on each other.
right?
Oh, when you meant colonize space, I didn't know you meant we're gonna leave Earth completely.
Well,
I thought you meant like
maybe not
just
completely,
live
but,
there,
like,
live there, live there.
Basically, it's like it's like your own country, pretty much. Like, oh, I'm from space, buddy. Where you from? Like South Africa.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's water on like what is it like
The moons of Jupiter.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Yes.
It's with the E, right?
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about, but
Yeah.
I forgot.
Man, they said it's like.
Is it Eros? I'm not sure.
Oh no, it's something.
Yeah. It's,
Anyways,
it's some
I saw
some
that.
Greek or Latin.
Yes,
It's
yes.
a Roman
Similar
god.
to ETH.
I'm gonna look
Yeah.
it up. But anyways, didn't they say like it's like a thick like sheet of like
Ice. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And underneath it, there might be like actually
Life?
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, like life.
Yeah. Could be semen floating around there. Primitive life.
Wait, don't
Someone's sending their
we
semen.
have semen like in our like oceans? Because like the whales, don't they like squirt out like jizz everywhere?
Yeah.
Right. So
course.
technically, we have semen in our
Technically,
ocean.
every time
Wait, what?
you go into like Jeju or Busan, you're
Yeah.
like taking in
Dude,
sperm.
you're taking in a lot of shit, man.
So
Like,
pretty
you're
much
taking in-
all of us had swallowed semen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
probably.
And, like it was all over our eyes, assholes, like everywhere.
Yes, dude. Thank you for the very incredibly detailed description.
Sorry.
Yeah, man. But is there anything like I know you're like all this classified stuff, but are there any cool projects or anything that like you can talk about that the space agency is working on right now?
Europa.
I mean, there's so many you could.
Oh, like something that you think is like really. Oh, it's called Europa.
Yeah, Europa.
All right. Okay.
No,
cool.
I don't think we're working on Europa.
No. I'm saying like, is there anything like any cool projects or anything like that you're like particularly excited about? Like, oh shit, we're gonna
That
be
our
like,
space agency is doing.
yeah.
Well,
Like, oh,
mine.
Oh,
well, for this very fundamental reason that we live on this planet, and if there's no electricity, I mean, we already know what a huge problem that is. You'd be out of a job.
Oh yeah, dude.
You'd have a job, I suppose. Yeah.
Job for me.
Lucky you.
Yeah. We wouldn't have this.
Right. There would be no podcast.
Yeah.
What are we
mean,
talking about? Like,
There would
Trump
there would be no
Trump
porn.
wouldn't have a Twitter account.
oh god, so that might be worth.
That might
just
be
shutting down.
Yeah, but then I mean, think of the
power grid.
people that would die and stuff because of the hospitals not having electricity
I mean, like
and
just lack of heat.
Yeah.
You know, anything.
Yo,
in
but
general.
imagine like a world without porn. I feel like it would be like, there would be chaos. I mean, look at before, like in
It's like a
history.
multi-billion-dollar
you
industry.
guys would have to
People
get
would
married.
go crazy.
Oh yeah, like tomorrow. Yeah,
That would be
man.
pretty bad because like everyone's like holding in urges and shit.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I guess you could use your imagination. Like, how do you think people did it back then? But
Yeah, you'd have to get married.
but
Yeah, just,
but look, like you already experienced watching porn. It's like once it's like gone, it's like a crack addict going through withdrawals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Night
man.
sweats, and all that shit.
Can you imagine when they start making those sex dolls and shit? Like,
You'd have to
Once
go
they-
to
Oh yeah,
like
you have one, right?
have to go to like hand rehabilitation clinic or something. Where like you put your hand up and instead of saying hi, I'm Brian, you just put your hand up and everyone would put their hands up and go.
oh,
Like when you go hi Brian, everyone hi my name's Brian, everyone goes hi Brian. You put your hand up and then everyone puts their hands up.
oh,
Like
that's good.
hand
Yeah.
signaling.
Right.
I get your pain,
Yeah,
bro.
I get
your pain.
I get it.
I mean, there was a South Park episode on that, wasn't there? Where there was low internet connection.
No idea. I
And
don't
then-
watch South Park.
So basically, this guy Randy Marsh goes to this place where these guys are offering porn services, and they draw sketches of like women doing sex really
Oh my
quickly.
It's like
Of course they would
hentai.
have
And then
that kind of
and then
shit,
he's
man.
like, elephant coming on woman's breasts, and like someone draws it quickly and he puts it there, and he's like, no, it's not fast enough. The buffering's too slow.
Oh,
And then he finds the last bit of internet connection, and he jerks off and he jizzes all over himself. The whole
Oh,
chair
God.
and his face is just covered in jizz.
Ugh. No, but can you imagine they start making like real looking sex dolls that replace
They've done
prostitution?
that, haven't they?
No, but like
Oh, you mean like AI robots?
yeah, like
or whatever?
AI robots and shit. Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine you get hooked on that? You talk about porn, man. That's another level.
Yeah.
You get hooked on that, and let's say that they shut off the power grid or whatever, it shuts down, and we have, dude, you're pretty much
you're donezo. Basically, it's a doll, right? That's like super hot, like a celebrity.
What if she looks
super realistic?
Yeah.
She moves like a human being because let's just say like AI at that point is just like on point. Can't even tell the difference. Only thing is she doesn't talk back to you like your wife does. So what are you gonna do?
Imagine,
then?
dude. Like,
Yeah. So what are you gonna do?
That is actually a dilemma. You gotta think about that.
But I think that will save a lot of marriages.
What do you
think
mean?
think about the divorces that happen because of their own, like, they're just tired of, like, you know, banging the same person, you know, and that might like revitalize their shit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, marriages should be about more than just sex, don't you think? I mean, now we look at no, I mean, there's this guy named Professor Jordan Peterson who talks about this. And he says that for you to be in a relationship with someone, you have to sacrifice the, like, screen of them in front of you. Because, like, once you get into a relationship with a woman, the beautiful woman that you saw in a bar disappears.
Yeah, it does.
That, like, sex bomb goes away, and then you see what type of person she actually is.
No, I hear what you're saying. There's more to it than just, you know, what you see. But, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're kind of I
mean, what makes us human beings is not just, like, the life processes, one of them being sex. It's about being individuals. So if you can, like, find interest in an individual beyond sex, then maybe you wouldn't need a robot.
Basically, but the robots, I'm a scumbag. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, the robots, they could help in certain ways.
I think it will.
Technology is very neutral. How you use it, like, that's the problem. How you use it, and I hope the government doesn't regulate these sex bots, though, because imagine a government trying to make a smartphone, as this economist Yaron Brook says. Imagine if a government regulated making a smartphone. You just have a brick. Like, it wouldn't be the amazing technology you have today. Yeah. Because they say it's got to be like this, it's got to be that specification. Like, once you take off the regulation, there's no, like, every problem you think of, if you give it to people who don't have any, like, you know, regulations on them, they can solve that problem for you in a way that's beyond your imagination. Yeah. That was his thinking. It's amazing what people can come up with. Like, these two space probes, Voyager 1 and 2, that we put into space, they still work now and they still send transmissions back from the 1970s.
Holy shit.
This smartphone...
Wait, they're still out there?
Yeah, the smartphone that you've got there has more computing power than both of those things combined.
Holy fuck.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Imagine that, from the 1970s to now, 2018, in the space of 48 years, we've come up with that thing.
Yeah. But do you think, like technological innovation is going to stall at one point? Because right now we're kind of like, maybe we're kind of riding it where it's good right now, right? We're at a very good point.
Again, we can apply the same philosophy. You can only imagine life to the point of what you define life as. The same with technology. You can only make technology as far as your imagination can go. So if you're saying your imagination is bounded, to some extent I could agree that an imagination is bounded, because there's a theory in logic, not the logic you guys know, but like something the logic that we use to, the logic you use to describe math, for example. So if P implies Q and Q implies P, then, like, this is true or whatever. So there's this theory theorem that was proved by this guy, Kurt Gödel. So basically, to put it in like understandable knowledge, it says that no matter how big your basis of understanding, you can never prove all statements which are true. So no matter how
that's true.
So no matter how big you understand something, as how big a knowledge base you have to understand something. If somebody makes a statement like, "Oh, there's a God," it's necessarily true that basis of knowledge cannot be used to explain whether you could prove that. So that's why the question whether God exists is like a very interesting one, because that theory says that God does exist, but we don't have the capacity to prove that God exists because our basis of knowledge is not that big. Hence, that statement could be true, but we can't prove it. Or the current methods that we have are just not enough. So God is something that we
Right,
don't
right, right.
understand
It can go both
to such a
ways.
point. Yeah,
Right.
of course. So that goes back to the whole imagination thing as well.
That's true.
Hey, help
It's
me
like a
understand.
really philosophical
Yeah,
thing
I
going
know.
on.
We went
Yeah,
into
yeah,
a weird
yeah.
direction.
Yeah, I'm scratching my hair.
No, I got mind blown like several times, but help me better
Wait, did you just say you got
understand, like-
blown several times? I didn't get that.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
yes, you heard right the first time. Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Well, Joe's been walking you at the speed of light.
Yes,
right?
very fast. Yeah, can't see shit.
But help me better understand like what about like the weather in space, because like I'm trying to like I didn't really understand it. So like
So space weather, well, we basically try to refer to space weather as the interaction between the sun and the planets around it within our solar system. So when we talk of space weather, that's what we're talking about.
So
and
you-
basically the interaction between the sun and everything is magnetic, or the spitting out of matter from the sun to everything else
Mhm.
that's around the sun, like
Oh,
the planets,
okay.
the planets' moons.
It's not like what we're talking about, like inside, like here.
No, like, because of course most of the weather we have here is related to an atmosphere, but
Mhm.
out in space, for example, space weather is especially concerned with the sun's interaction with Earth
Mhm.
for obvious reasons.
Mhm. Is
we-
it called
we-
cosmic rays? Is
No,
that
cosmic
what-
rays don't come from the sun.
Oh shit!
They originate in random places from space, actually.
Is that from the Big Bang? Like, what is it
Yeah, I
called?
mean, they say-
Cosmic,
I mean, that's one of the
microwave,
theories.
something. Yeah.
Cosmic microwave background
Yes,
radiation.
yeah.
So those cosmic rays are some really powerful things. It's like one of the theories they give for people just spontaneously like combusting. I don't know if you've heard of spontaneous combustion,
Of what?
where people are just sitting there 1 second, they just like disappear the next. It's called spontaneous human combustion.
Wait, what?
You can check it. Spontaneous human
Wait,
combustion.
can you explain? Like, I don't understand.
So
like-
they say cosmic rays are basically very highly energized particles,
Mhm.
right? And they're so highly energized that they can just like penetrate the atmosphere and like fry somebody, in theory,
Oh.
and that fry them to the point of them not being there at all.
So I'll be talking to you like this, and all of a
It's
sudden
like Zeus
you're-
sending his bolt of lightning,
So,
Oh, shit.
So it's like
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, and all of a sudden you just disappear.
or you just disappear, for example.
Oh.
Yeah, like whoosh, and
Oh.
like, you're not seen again. But we don't know conclusively that that's the thing, and it's
Oh, okay.
it's difficult to detect those things. But one of the
Yeah.
researchers is doing
I never
that.
heard of this ever.
Yeah, one
Maybe
of
that
the,
explains why there's so many missing like
That's
people.
what I'm saying,
Like
dude.
on
I
the
just,
back of your
I just
milk
thought about
carton.
like all
Like
these like
Elvis-
criminal cases.
like Elvis and
yeah.
yeah.
Damn.
That is, so is there actual wind? I'm so stupid. Like I don't know anything
Actual?
about space because I'm not really like.
Well, the
I didn't really
the matter getting sent from the sun to Earth through the magnetic fields. Remember, I told you that the like charged particles traveling along the field lines. So imagine that this is a field line from the sun. That's the sun here, and there's Earth here, and there's the field line, and then these particles travel around it like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that constant stream of particles is called the solar wind.
I wonder if you can feel it.
Well, you could. It's really intense.
Oh, okay,
But there's
right.
no atmosphere in space to get like a
Right.
wind.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So what is that like?
And here's an interesting thing that I learned recently as well, like last year. Vacuums are not empty. The vacuum that we call space is not empty. Because so there's something. Have you guys heard of Schrodinger's cat?
No.
Okay, have you guys
I don't
ever
even
heard
know
of
how to say that.
Schrodinger's equation?
No.
You didn't do any quantum physics.
No, man.
Quantum physics? Hell,
Jesus.
fuck no.
Okay, well,
Oh,
Right.
well, quantum physics.
We're
wow.
Americans.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
we don't-
that's
I
that's
mean-
where it's like where Einstein went and stuff.
Mm-mm.
Okay, so anyway,
Nothing to do with
Schrodinger.
quantum, whatever.
So Schrodinger's cat is like an analogy where he tries to explain quantum physics, right?
Uh-huh.
Imagine taking
Oh, actually, I think I heard this one. Keep
imagine taking a box
Mhm.
that you cannot see in, okay?
Mhm.
Then you put your cat in there,
Yeah, I
and
know
then
this
you
one.
open up a bottle of acid that can kill the cat,
Yeah,
and you put it in with the cat and you
Yeah.
close it. Is the cat alive or dead?
right. You don't know until you open it, right? Is that?
No. The whole thing
Oh.
is that the cat is both alive and dead at the same time. So the vacuum in space works the same way. There's imaginary vacuum particles in it and not in it at the same time.
How is it? Wait. Okay.
So that's the dual nature of light. Light is a particle or it's energy.
Oh, okay.
So it's both there and not there at the same time. That's the thing about quantum physics.
So why do they say it's alive if you like?
Because you don't know.
Because you don't know, right?
Yeah.
Until you actually like
Exactly.
see it.
It's the dual nature. Yeah.
So that's why it's both
Yeah.
live and dead.
I think this is like the quietest show you guys have ever done.
Yeah, no, it's just like I'm just trying to like.
We're like absorbing.
Yeah,
like,
we're trying to learn here.
Wow.
We're like having a lesson like right now in college. What did you major in, dude? What was your major?
Pure mathematics,
Oh,
physics, and then in my honors degree.
So you're a mathematician.
Yeah, and in my honors degree, I did space science. Yeah.
Space science?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's not the science of being high. It's the science of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that? Like how's that?
I hate
studying
coursework. I hate coursework. But I think the thing that I enjoy most is pure math. Like that.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
But the thing is, it's not financially viable to live a pure mathematician's lifestyle.
Mhm.
So I'd rather become rich and then just retire and do math forever.
Just-
I don't even want a PhD or title because, like, pure math, the nice thing about it is it's at the top. Like, everything we have here is based on math. Like, to make this, it used some chemistry. To understand that chemistry, you needed some physics. To understand that physics, you needed some math.
Mhm.
To understand math, you need math itself. So it's right at the top.
Right.
That's why I'd prefer to do it, but it's not financially viable.
Right, that's what I'm
to
saying,
do it,
like,
yeah.
So
Because like a lot of the math, like consider for example the math of black holes existed 100 years before. So it's not financially viable at the time you discover it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe 100 years later. So I don't mind not seeing the fruit of my work in my lifetime, but I know that it's important. Yeah.
Are you like the math whiz in the family? Because I know you have a sister and a brother.
I have two
coming
sisters
there.
and a brother.
Oh, you do? You
Yeah.
have another sister?
Yeah.
Oh. How old
Yeah.
is she?
She's not coming to Korea, don't
Oh,
worry. She has 2 kids and yeah. So she's 2 years younger than the older
okay.
one. So she's maybe 30?
Okay.
30, gonna be 31 this year, probably.
Yeah, because like I know a little bit of your sister and
Yeah.
your brother as well.
Yeah.
You guys are very different. Your personalities.
We are.
Like, are you like
We're a family of individuals.
Are you like the genie? Are you like the math whiz?
I don't know. I don't ascribe any whizness to myself.
So humble, man.
Yeah. Are you?
No, I'm not being humble either, to be honest.
Hey,
I
what's
don't.
that?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know anyone who loves math as much as you do. Like,
I like it, yeah.
holy.
You just
shit.
actually like, so if someone gives you an equation, you actually enjoy
It's not okay,
using your brain to solve.
I like things like number theory, for example. So like
Shit.
your
just know
computer there and your phone there.
Mhm.
If you don't want people to know what's on it, you create codes, right?
Yeah.
You've got to put in a code. That code is based on something called a trapdoor one-way function. Basically, there's 2 large prime numbers. Now you know what a prime number is, right?
Yeah.
Something that can only be divided by itself and 1. Okay. So if I take 2 very large prime numbers and I multiply them together, and what can divide that? It's only 1 and the 2 prime numbers and the number itself, right? So that system basically created by 3 drunk guys that were mathematicians. They created that computer security and phone
It's
security.
fucking crazy.
Wow.
It's called the RSA crypto system. So number theory, something to be able to break down that security is something I would love to find. Because if I can find that, security as we know it would just, all over the world, you couldn't use a bank, you couldn't use a computer, there'd be no security anymore.
Wow,
And then probably
dude.
come up with my own way that nobody would be able to solve.
Oh shit.
So,
Damn.
even if I'm laying the theory for it, I don't mind.
Didn't you say like the top astrophysicist in South Africa? You know the guy, and a lot of you had these,
He's
you
a
and I had
top
this
one.
conversation about like
Let's
all
not
these-
name names. Let's not
Yeah,
name
let's
his
not name
name.
people's
yeah,
names, but
yeah,
like-
of course. But
like-
you know who he is,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
he
yeah.
knows who he
Or-
is,
yeah.
and he still owes me like money. So
didn't you say like a lot of these like really smart, highly intelligent,
Yeah.
world changing people.
we love
They-
drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they got
The
these
guys who
ideas.
discovered
and-
this stuff they were drinking. And one guy couldn't sleep because he was too drunk and he decided to whip out his thing. And yeah.
Sorry. Random
Not
thought.
whip out his penis.
Yeah,
He
I was
whipped
like,
out his
no.
notebook and like,
Whip out his what?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Just a random thought, but like, so like if you, so I feel like blockchain, right?
Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people who like make blockchain would hate people like you if you figured out a way.
If I got to work, yeah.
Yeah, if you if you figured out a way to like fuck
Yeah.
that whole shit up.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
What's his name again? Bitcoin Sakamoto or something.
Nobody
He's
knows who he
Japanese guy.
actually is. That's
Yeah,
just a pseudonym.
Just a name, yeah.
We don't even know if he's Japanese or not.
Yo, but that's another thing to think about because
But
everyone's
he wants people to know he's Japanese. We do know that.
Aha! Look at this mathematician over here.
But right, like that's like, like if someone finds that out, then there's no future for Bitcoin then.
There's no future for any security system
right.
as we know it.
Right.
I could basically take all the world's monetary resources.
Bro, is that what
But
you're
in a
working
way, if you think about
But inherently think about it. Your paper money
Mhm.
has no value.
Mhm.
So if I could just take all of it, the whole economic system crashes. But then human beings still survive, don't they? So they'd have to
Right,
find
right.
a new way to
Right.
survive.
Jesus Christ. So you're just like doing this on your spare time? Like working on like number theories?
Not yet, but after this video, YouTube's probably going to kill me.
Hey, you didn't give any classified information today, so you're straight.
I told you, the
Damn.
truth's more important than classified information.
Yeah. Well, do you enjoy being here in Korea? Like, while you're
It's a very safe and free
Yeah.
society
Yeah,
compared to
yeah.
where I come from, to be honest. Yeah.
How was it for like the Indian community in South Africa?
It's a very big community, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm more of a rebel, so I don't really like how Korean people maybe like Koreans.
Right.
That's
what I'm
not
saying.
really my thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'll
yeah.
find someone
Well, you
individual.
like us, so
I'd find
We're
some.
not-
Yeah,
we're not Indian.
I'd
so.
find some individual who interests me, and then
Uh-huh.
just probably associate with that person
Mhm.
more. Yeah, it's not. I don't really have this group think based
Mhm.
on like racial lines or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Your family must because we're both, a lot of people are so ignorant. They're like, they don't consider Indians Asian.
Yeah.
So, I think it's kind of an Asian thing, like family values and religious values are extremely important in our
Yeah.
society, right?
In Korea?
Like
In Korea, do they really have like religious values? It doesn't seem that way.
they do.
They have
It's
this
very
like,
strong.
is it called Samgwangsa? What is that? Like shaman beliefs? Like those traditional
No.
Korean temples?
Yes, but
And
those
then-
are
It seems mostly Christian thereafter.
more Christian now.
Yeah.
Highly Christian. So
Like these Jehovah's Witnesses. Like a lady
Yeah,
came up to me and
no.
she's like, "Do you speak Hindi?" And I'm like, "No, I'm from South Africa. I speak English." I was being really polite. And then
Yeah.
I knew she wasn't really coming to speak to me about Hindi because then she whips out a Jehovah's Witness flyer and gives it to
Oh
me.
god. Did she give you a
She's
little
like-
candy too? Like a little
No.
No?
he
Oh,
got a
what
candy.
about wet
You got a
tissue?
candy?
I got all kinds of
You went
things.
inside a truck.
No, but she directed
Dude.
me to the Jungang line. So I suppose that's better than candy.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's better.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. You don't know what they're gonna like do to those things. Like
Jehovah's
candy.
Witnesses are
Might jizz on those like
Ew.
lollipops.
Jehovah's Witnesses are really interesting. My
they
father,
are
one
very
of his
interesting.
One of his
Yeah.
good friends is a Jehovah's Witness, so they've got some
Mhm.
beliefs. So like if you're having surgery and you're a Jehovah's Witness, you're not allowed to take blood.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So then so then scientists had to invent bloodless surgeries. That wasn't
Mhm.
crazy enough.
Mhm.
And
Bloodless surgeries?
yeah, so
How does that
when
even
they do
work?
when they do a heart surgery, they've created this plasma fluid.
I heard about this.
Instead
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
using blood, they use
Yeah.
this plasma fluid
Mhm.
so that the person survives. It's remarkable what they
Yeah.
achieve in science. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
They actually found a way around
Yeah.
that. That's
I mean,
so crazy.
Probably the one thing Jehovah's Witnesses were good for. So
Yeah.
But I doubt it
Damn.
was related to them. Someone could have had a blood condition where they couldn't like find, because that's the problem. Like, assume that maybe this is what the assumption was. I'm just brainstorming here, but your guess is as good as mine, if not better. So the thing is, what if they had like a lack of different types of blood in a hospital, and then they had to, like, if we have a scarcity, we can't give someone blood not compatible with their own,
Right.
because there's only a finite amount of
Mhm.
universal donors and
Mhm.
universal recipients,
Mhm.
for example.
Mhm.
Well, no, there's many universal recipients, but very few universal donors. Yeah. So the problem was then, what do we do if we don't have enough blood? So maybe that's what they had to discover.
Right.
So maybe it wasn't the Jehovah's Witnesses, but they fitted in quite neatly
Mm.
into that aisle, I suppose.
Speaking of like religion, man, I just read into like Mormonism, and I was like, there's like this YouTube.
Joseph Smith was a Mormon prophet. Dum,
Yeah,
dum, dum, dum,
bro.
dum.
Did you watch that?
That was South Park,
that-
actually.
Oh, it sounds scary.
It is actually a little bit freaky though.
I don't know. I think all religion
everything-
is really
Yeah.
God, it's just so irrational, seriously. But I mean, that's the thing, you can't chastise someone for irrational beliefs, but you can chastise someone for imposing the irrational beliefs on you.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, we have to appreciate in the West that we have freedom of religion and freedom from religion.
Uh-huh.
That's what separates us from the best. Having freedom just makes things better.
Mhm.
Like, look at North Korea, for example. They look at evolution through the prism of Kim Jong-un,
Mhm.
the Kim family. Now, that's religion,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah.
So
right.
they see him as like a godhead, and his family with the whole, is it called Juche
Yeah.
philosophy. That's like the
Damn.
religion,
We
and then
even know that.
they have to ascribe like certain values to Mount Pektu, because that's where his family's divine power comes from and
Right.
stuff. So it's like a religion in itself.
It is a religion.
It is. Yeah.
Because I mean, if you have anything that you have to accept without any proof for it, but again, this ties into that whole thing of things you cannot prove.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't chastise someone for their beliefs. In
Mhm.
fact, I would go so far as to say that if you believe you need proof in the conventional sense for each thing, then you're a person without imagination.
Mhm.
So, I mean, if you want to believe in God, I mean, go ahead, but
Mhm.
just don't impose that belief on
Right.
anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, you see the Olympic North Korean? They had a documentary about it, like North Korean were the cheerleaders.
No, I didn't see that.
It's fucking crazy.
They're not
man.
even cheerleaders, right? They're just like
Is that like the-
they're just handpicked.
The
They're like
Morebang band or
No,
something?
No, they're just like I don't know, Ungon team. It's like they're
cheering squad.
they're
Well,
cheering
cheerleaders,
squad,
yeah.
cheerleaders, right?
But they're not really cheerleaders. They just got like handpicked.
Yeah, they're
like,
handpicked to do
through-
that, and
like they evaluate their family and
Damn,
whatever.
man. Did you see?
And like obviously how
Yeah.
pretty they
yeah,
are.
they're hot. Some of
In
them
the
are really hot.
communist regimes, they do that. Like China too, they train they pick their athletes, and then you don't go to school. You train every day to be an
Mm-hmm. Right,
athlete
right.
forever, and you're not
Mhm.
allowed to. So like Jet Li, the
Uh-huh.
famous guy, the kung
Famous
fu
guy.
expert,
Yeah.
he once split
Yeah,
his bone.
Jet Li.
He once split his bone half through, and he had to
Damn.
continue training.
Wow.
And it's only when his foot swelled to the size of a ham that they took him to the hospital. And then when he came back, they made him train more, but upper body, because you can't stop training. I mean, it's
like,
like there's an interesting channel on YouTube called China Uncensored. So you can
sounds
watch
like-
that, and then there's
sounds
this
like
interesting
porn.
thing on it. So
Ew.
yeah, so there they show you that. I mean, it becomes so bad that even some of them are forced to sell their gold medals just to escape poverty.
Jeez.
Because they
Oh
don't
my
go to
God.
school.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
It's
those
really
of you
bad.
who want to like see real Korean beauty, don't watch K-pop. Just watch the Olympics.
Yo,
at
bro,
Pyeongchang.
the way they clap too, it's like they all
like
have to have the
robotic.
same smile.
I
They're
saw
like
I saw them.
It was like
but
you-
I didn't see the documentary. I did
for
see.
hours. Oh, it's
Yeah.
in Korean though.
Yeah.
It's in Korean. So like it came out during the Olympics.
Yeah.
This guy filmed it and then he like put it out like while they're like
Did you
the
s-
Olympics are going on. So
did
I
you
saw it on
s-
TV. Yeah.
Did you see Kim Jong Un's sister?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Damn.
She looks like a vampire, a hot vampire.
Yo,
to
she's
be
pretty
honest, yeah.
hot.
She's pregnant.
She belongs in Underworld.
So
Yeah, she's like no one knows who the father is. Either. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
damn. Yeah, she was really pretty, right? I
Yeah.
think she's really pretty.
Oh, well, she ain't.
No,
she's
she's
okay.
pretty.
She's
She
okay.
looks scary.
We were talking about K-pop, so I don't know if you guys can agree with me, but I watched something on K-pop
I
where
love
apparently it's like some sort of slave trade that goes on.
Yeah.
You've got to sign like a contract for a minimum of 7 years.
Yeah,
You
there's
have to-
stuff like that.
You got to S a D.
Yeah, you have
every,
to
like,
practice a minimum
night.
of 16 hours a day. Most of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
money goes to your
Yeah, you
PR
don't get
company.
shit.
You don't get anything.
But it's not for all agencies like
and
that.
people
Yeah.
faint while they're performing that
Yeah.
stuff on stage.
There
It's-
are a lot of
Yeah.
agencies that do that.
and you're not allowed to like gain weight and stuff.
You have to be
It's-
sticks.
Yeah.
You can't date too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't date.
It's horrible.
Can't fuck. Can't date.
Yeah.
No, but that's why they go to those places, the like brothels and stuff,
Yeah.
and they just bang it out there.
And some of them turn to prostitution to make
Bro,
money.
this is the
and-
thing.
Yeah.
Korea, it's a huge problem because like
Yeah.
these hot ass celebrities, right? They need to make they need to make money. They need to make a name for themselves. So they would they have these like really, we were talking about yesterday with like Stevens, Brian too, but like you have these like really expensive, exquisite room salons. They call it
Yeah.
room salons here, where it's like these are not your normal like
prostitutes.
girls
Yeah.
that are prostituting their bodies. Like they're like fucking hot.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
So it's like,
Like,
it's
hot.
it's similar to those like
Hot. Sorry.
Maran Bong bands that Kim
Yeah.
Jong Un has, and the members of those bands
Yeah,
they
band-
have to be given to the highest party members
Yeah,
as like wives and stuff.
but here it's like
it's
everywhere.
so weird that the two Koreas are so similar.
Yeah, well, we're the same people,
Yeah.
right? Like one,
Okay, I
one and
mean
the same.
we should probably get into Me Too.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Actually,
yeah, dude.
actually, I'm kind of North Korean.
What?
Did I tell you this?
Kind of North Korea. What are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
I
My
mean, I don't have a problem with you. Just
I'm
don't impose
I'm
your
North Korean,
communist
pretty much.
ideology on me. I mean, you can be as North Korean as you want with your Nike hoodie and Major League Baseball cap there.
yeah, this is
and
all just
iPhone.
This is all just to
It's
throw
all
you off.
show, man. It's a
American.
show.
Yeah, but
iPhone.
I was sent by Kim Jong Un. No, my
you mean you're
grandma's
kind of-
from North Korea.
Oh,
she,
really?
She bounced from North Korea.
Bounced.
There's a city called Kaesong.
Yeah, I know it. It's close to the
She's
border,
from
yeah.
Kaesong, and she bounced, and that's where she lost her brother. So she doesn't
Oh,
even know if
shit,
he's in
man.
North Korea or dead. And she has a bullet wound from running down south. So till
Bro.
this day, she has what's it? You can see like the bullet wound.
Like
and
it went
it's-
through.
Yeah, it went through. I think. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Whoa.
It didn't go through. We recently went to the doctor because she was having some problems, some health issues, and the doctor they couldn't figure it out. They
do you mean they couldn't figure it
didn't think of it like writing it down. I guess for her like medical history or whatever. So like they were like, yeah, there's like something.
There is a bullet wound.
There's
in
like
her leg.
something in your leg, and they checked, and they're like, oh damn, that's like a fucking bullet.
It's still in her leg.
It's still there. I
Dude,
think. Yeah.
that's terrible.
They couldn't figure it out, and then like, yeah, my mom was like, oh yeah, she like bounced from North Korea, so she has
Yeah.
bullet.
Oh yeah, she's got a shot in her leg. That's it.
No, because
It's okay.
it's so long ago, like they didn't really
Why
think
don't
about
they take
it.
it out?
I think they said it's safer to leave it in there because it's not
What?
doing anything. I
Yeah.
don't know. It's been so long too.
And sometimes when you get to an age, you can't operate.
Oh yeah, you
There-
can't.
there's
yeah,
like
it's,
there's a risk
like
kind
the
of
anesthesia thing. You
so-
can't put him to sleep. They
Yeah.
might not wake up.
And too much oxygen can flood it and you can die.
They said it's just
Yeah.
better to like leave it
Yeah.
in there. So yeah, she can't go through TSA. Beep 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 beep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How can she ever go to go to the airport?
bullet. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Anyways.
yeah, I think we gotta wrap it up, man.
Yeah.
It's been about an hour. So
Yeah.
The haircut?
yo, dude, why don't you talk about the haircut?
Oh damn.
Yeah.
So it's a funny story, right? I was shaving to try and stimulate beard growth towards the inside because my beard grows like this, like an Amish person on the side.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you
you
can see
do.
it's coming in though. It's coming.
It is coming in,
I need
yeah.
a few more treatments. So basically, what happened was I was shaving without my glasses because it just gets in the way, and I was using the machine instead of the blade, right?
Like this
So-
is by yourself, right?
by myself in front
Okay.
of the mirror in my apartment, my little apartment. But thanks, it was a nice apartment. So so basically I shaved off. So I had big hair and I shaved off a portion, and this was exposed here, and it was done in such a way that I couldn't put hair down to cover it. Okay, so then I decided, you know what? Let me try and like correct this thing on this side. So basically, what happens is that in
You
order
started
to
cutting
do it,
more and more.
yeah, I started cutting more and more. Eventually, here's the really good part, right? I pull out the shoestring from my sneaker because I can't look at myself in the mirror and look at the camera behind me while I'm doing this. So I put this sneaker string
my
around my
God.
head and I cut around that.
Whoa.
Okay, right?
Abu.
And then the next morning, okay, wait, it gets even worse or better. I mean, for you guys it'll be better. For me, it's worse.
I love it.
So the next morning, I go to this hairdresser. Right, she charges me 18,000 won. Okay, that's
you got
really
ripped off,
expensive.
bro.
Yeah, I know. But she was hot. It's
Okay,
okay.
so you're-
and she
it's okay.
massaged my hair and stuff.
Oh,
Oh,
God, yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
Massage your head.
So
Saw someone else
basically,
too?
I show
fine.
her this. I look for pictures that are similar to what my hair looks like at the time of the mistake, right?
No.
And anyway, I give her this picture, and not realizing it is basically the picture of a Nazi. And like she cuts my hair like this Nazi, and this is the Nazi haircut that saved me from a hair mistake.
Oh my.
Damn.
It's horrible. Yeah, the guy's name was Aman Guth.
So you look like a Nazi right now?
I mean, the
Like an
Nazi
Indian
haircuts,
Nazi?
but I mean, look at it. It doesn't look bad, does it?
Doesn't
No,
look bad
it
at
doesn't
all.
look bad at all.
I mean,
dude.
some
Actually, it looks pretty
kids,
good.
like 2 kids that I look like Kim Jong Un, but then I disprove
What?
this.
No, kids
Because I mean,
don't-
he's got a
kids
thing
are
that goes up
stupid.
like that. He's got a thing that goes up like that, and there's like no hair here.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm like,
Dude, it
this-
actually looks good.
It
No,
looks
it looks
good,
good.
but I'm not a Nazi. That
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
we know
I
that.
didn't
You don't have to.
realize
You don't
the
have to
picture
prove
was a
this.
Nazi. I mean, I was like, just correct my hair, make it look like this, and now this is the end result of it.
Meanwhile, he's got like a giant Nazi's like tattoo on your arm.
like
I'm
a
not a Nazi. Oh shit! Just ignore this, please.
All right, guys, it's time to wrap it up. You wanna have shout out to whatever like you got going on, or
Everyone
to
who
some
ever thinks
people?
they ever did anything for me, and everyone who ever thinks they deserve anything, I mean, just take your credit now. I suppose.
What is that?
I mean, you've got to cover all avenues.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got
The
a
whole world,
you got
man,
an
the world.
Instagram or a Facebook or you want anything?
Neither of
you wanna
those things. No.
Oh, you don't do any
Yeah.
social media?
But maybe I'll be back on the show if they like me and if it
Mhm.
ups the ratings. They might be doing drunk shows soon.
Oh, yeah,
Hey.
I mean, maybe I can be the first drunk victim.
Hey,
Yeah.
victim.
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe we should call it #MeToo Radio.
Oh my
People
god.
get the wrong idea and
Yeah,
watch it.
absolutely, dude.
It'll just
I
up
don't
our
think
ratings at
that's
least
a good
once.
Yeah, dude. Let's not do that.
All right, guys. So you can find us on YouTube and iTunes at STBeef00 and on our Instagram. So see you guys later.
Peace out, guys.